Pakistan has recently made headlines by offering the strategic Pasni Port to the United States. At first glance, it might seem like a simple economic proposal, but this move could ripple across South Asia and the Middle East, reshaping geopolitical alignments and strategic calculations for decades. To understand the full scope, we need to analyze Pakistan's internal collapse, its strategic motivations, and what this port deal could mean for U.S. interests and India's regional positioning. Pakistan is a nation in crisis. By 2025, its economy is teetering on the edge of collapse. Inflation has consistently hovered above 20% for years. Foreign reserves have dwindled to the point that the country can barely cover a few weeks of imports. The Pakistani rupee has plummeted to historic lows, and foreign investors are fleeing in droves. Major multinational corporations, including Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, Shell, and Pfizer, have scaled back or completely exited Pakistan. Even local unicorns like Careem are reducing their footprint. This isn't just an economic slowdown, it's a systemic collapse. China-Pakistan collaboration through CPEC, once hailed as a transformative economic corridor, has underperformed. Many infrastructure projects remain unfinished, loans remain unpaid, and industrial zones intended to generate billions of dollars are largely inactive. Even China has begun to scale back financial support, leaving Pakistan increasingly vulnerable. Facing dwindling economic options, Pakistan has now turned to its other assets, rare earth minerals and strategic ports. The Pasni Port, located in Balochistan, is a deep water facility that could serve as a significant naval and commercial hub. Pakistan's strategy is clear. By offering the port to the United States, it provides not just access to the Arabian Sea, but also potential control over mineral-rich regions that are critical for emerging technologies. Rare earth minerals are the backbone of modern tech. From advanced defense systems to electronics and green energy solutions, the message to the US is implicit: invest in our port and gain privileged access to strategic resources. From a U.S. perspective, Pasni Port offers immediate geopolitical advantages. First, it provides a permanent foothold in the Arabian Sea, enhancing maritime security and surveillance capabilities in a region of strategic interest. Second, it enables closer monitoring of India's naval operations and establishes a vantage point over critical shipping lanes. Third, the port could serve as a strategic outpost to counter Iranian influence in the region. Finally, rare earth minerals give the U.S. a measure of independence from Chinese supply chains, supporting both economic and military objectives. Historically, wherever the United States establishes port facilities, a military dimension inevitably follows. Examples from Bahrain, Djibouti, and the Philippines illustrate this trend. Pasni could evolve similarly, serving dual purposes: commercial development and strategic military operations. Pakistan, meanwhile, hopes this partnership will act as a buffer against Indian military assertiveness and reduce dependence on China. However, investing heavily in Pakistan comes with high risks. Political instability, security threats in Balochistan, and a weak economic base make this a high-risk, low-reward proposition. For the US, weighing short-term access against long-term liability will be crucial. Meanwhile, India is observing closely. India's economy continues to grow steadily, with poverty reduction, a rising middle class, and expanding industrial capabilities. Strategic developments, including statements about access to critical maritime zones, indicate India is prepared to respond to shifting regional dynamics. A weakened Pakistan creates both challenges and opportunities for India, offering leverage over its western frontier while necessitating heightened diplomatic vigilance. In the coming months, Pakistan may increasingly offer more assets to external powers: railways, airports, mining regions, and land. This could gradually lead to a form of neo-colonial dependence on foreign investment, undermining Pakistan's sovereignty and shaping South Asia's strategic landscape. Yet foreign dollars alone cannot revive Pakistan's economy. Structural reforms, taxation, governance, education, and healthcare are essential to long-term stability. Without internal restructuring, any foreign investment remains a temporary lifeline rather than a solution. The Pasni Port offer also signals the potential emergence of a Cold War 2.0 scenario in South Asia. U.S. involvement in Pakistan could reignite strategic competition with China and recalibrate India-US-Pakistan relations. The region may witness a complex chessboard of alliances, economic dependencies, and military posturing. While the United States gains strategic advantages, it also assumes responsibilities for security, stability, and regional tensions. For policymakers in Washington, the calculus is intricate. Balancing access to strategic resources, countering Chinese influence, and navigating Pakistan's internal instability is a delicate task. Any U.S. investment will need to be measured, carefully planned, and integrated into a broader Indo-Pacific strategy. Failure to do so could entangle the United States in regional conflicts without clear returns. At the same time, India must continue its trajectory of economic growth, defense modernization, and diplomatic engagement. Strengthening regional partnerships, investing in critical infrastructure, and maintaining military readiness ensures India can respond effectively to any shifts in Pakistan-US dynamics. The interplay between Pakistan's desperation, US strategic interests, and India's regional positioning will define the geopolitical landscape for years to come. In conclusion, Pakistan's Pasni Port offer is far more than an economic proposition. It is a strategic gambit with global implications. For the United States, it presents opportunities for naval presence, resource access, and influence over South Asia. For Pakistan, it is a lifeline in an otherwise deteriorating economy. For India, it underscores the importance of strategic foresight and proactive diplomacy. As the world watches these developments, one thing is clear. South Asia is entering a new chapter of geopolitical complexity. Cold War-era calculations may no longer suffice. The coming years will demand nuanced understanding, strategic patience, and decisive action by all players involved. By 2025, Pakistan's economy is in one of the worst positions in its history. Inflation rates have hovered above 20% for years, eroding the purchasing power of its middle class. Foreign reserves have dwindled to cover only a few weeks of imports, while the Pakistani rupee has plummeted to record lows. This economic instability has caused multinational corporations to rethink their presence. Companies like Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, Shell, and Pfizer, once pillars of the Pakistani business ecosystem, have either scaled back operations or completely exited the country. Even local companies with foreign origins like Careem have chosen to leave. When major corporations abandon a country, it's not just an economic issue, it's a sign of systemic collapse. Entire supply chains falter, unemployment rises, and confidence in government policies declines. In this context, Pakistan's leadership faces mounting pressure to secure foreign capital. The Pasni Port offer is a direct result of this economic vulnerability. Meanwhile, India's story is starkly different. Economic growth is robust, extreme poverty has declined sharply, and a burgeoning middle class is creating new consumer demand. The country continues to modernize its military and expand naval capabilities, positioning itself as a dominant regional power. Statements from Indian defense officials, like referencing Karachi via strategic waterway routes, highlight that India is not passive. As Pakistan weakens, India gains strategic leverage along its western border and can influence maritime security in the Arabian Sea.